this is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
I think I started in the summer of '87, so I was just turning 13. And my mom's, like I said, I was raised by a single mom. She didn't know, and because Crystal had already, pulled up with this money and kind of let the family know that she was into something, and she was giving us money to buy food and help pay bills. The little bit of money I was making, I would bring home and give it to my mom's, at least some of it, to help put food in the refrigerator. And I would always say, I got it from my sister Crystal. And she kind of fell for it. And any clothing or anything that I bought, I said, Crystal got it for me. That's kind of how I got away with it.
Antoine never really brought that street attitude in the house. You know what I mean? Like, now that I think of it now, he was able to successfully separate his street life from how he behaved in the house. Honestly, I was hearing, about him doing all these different things, but I never really saw it, or I didn't see him doing it in front of me.
He never was a flamboyant person that way. He never displayed any kind of disrespect to us or to my mom or my dad, anybody, my brothers. He was always respectful to me and to my siblings and to my parents. He always held himself as a respectful person. You would never know that he took to the streets the way he did. And, when we found out, we were pretty shocked because we didn't suspect that at all. He didn't display that type of mannerism, that type of street thugism, to us. Now, I'm not saying that's not what he was and what he did in the street, but with us, he was very respectful, held himself with a lot of respect. He spoke eloquently. He was always a respectful person. And
I didn't really have a goal when I first started hustling. There was nothing nothing material that I felt that I needed and I was trying to hustle for, saved up for. I was just living, day by day, buying sneakers, I wasn't really into jewelry. Well, I thought I was. And I remember going to Fordham Road in the Bronx, and they had a jewelry store, real popular, called Gallery 2000. All the jewelry in there. All the drug dealers would go to them dudes. And I had heard older drug dealers talking about it, so I went up there. Back then, 3 fingers, 4-finger rings, 2-finger high rises, all that was out popping. I saw a 3-finger, plain, probably weighed a few grams. But again, I didn't understand gold and the price of gold. So I asked the dude, how much is this 3-finger? He said, give me 600. Bet. Went home. I think I hustled for like 2 or 3 days. Got up to 600. Went to Gallery 2000. Let me get that. They sold me the 3-finger. I came back to the hood with it, rocking it. One of the older drug dealers out there, he sold me. He said, yo, where you get that from? I said, Gallery 2000. How much you pay for that? I said, 600. I said, nah, come on, let's get in the cab. Brought me back up there. He said, yo, this is my little man right here. Y'all overcharged him for that 3-finger. So dude was like, yo, give me the 3-finger back. He gave me a 4-finger. Man said, yo, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm good. Shortly after that, maybe within a week, I lost the ring. And after that, I didn't buy any more jewelry.
I've known Inch for about over 30 years. And we grew up in Edo, Southside, Blue Park together.
About 31 years ago, I met him. If I'm correct, we met in front of 1154. I used to hang out in front of 54 a little bit. Actually, a lot.
We went to elementary together, so I'm gonna say, without making myself look like an old head or nothing, but I got definitely a little over 30 years in rocking with my man Inch.
I've known Inch most of my life. Seen him, in the hood, as a kid, as a young kid. But my earliest memory of us actually meeting and connecting, we was in the same 7th grade class, man. 1986, I would say. Yeah, September 86.
hustled with him. I was out here with him, and you know, for the most part, I realized that Inch was a leader in his own right. Just from being around him, he was like the boss of his crew. You know what I mean? And that much I respected about him.
He ran with a little rough crew called the Blue Park crew. They was no joke. They was not having it, and they was not playing. They was getting money. Nothing else to be said.
There was one situation that kind of stands out to me that I remember. I was getting coke from my sister. Sometimes I was clipping her for it, like, meaning stealing. And it was a time I stole like a whole lot from her. Nice amount. Don't really know the amount, but it was at least 100 grams I clipped her for. And it was all coke, and I couldn't do anything with it. And my brother and my cousin, they used to do their thing with the coke around the projects, like on the outskirts by the stores or whatever. And they were them dudes with the coke. They was, you know, that was their thing. So I remember coming to my brother. I'm like, yo, I got this work. I got a lot of it. This is what I want y'all to do. I'm gonna give it to y'all. All I want is like $2,000 back. And I don't want it now. Y'all can take your time with it. But today is Tuesday. Going to the skate key on Saturday. Saturday come, I just need like $60 by Saturday. That's it. Take your time with the rest. They like, I bet. And it was good coke, so they was good. They probably made that 10 minutes after I walked away. So I knew it was ample enough time for them to come up with the money, but I didn't want to stress them because I was still doing my thing. Saturday come, I go to my brother and my cousin. I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm about to go to the skate key in a few hours. They got that money? So my brother wigged out on me. That's my brother Ice. He wigged out like, yo, fuck is you coming to us for this money for, nigga? You better wait. You over there doing your thing already. Fuck is you running up on us for? And then my cousin, he based up too. Word, man, get your little ass up out of here. You see us out here risking our lives every day, and you coming out, nigga, we just came out here. Nah. First of all, y'all had days to do this. I know y'all been made that money. So, I was like, they was like, still, the fuck out of here. You ain't getting nothing right now. You get it when we got it. I get it when y'all get it. And I gave it to y'all already, so y'all already had it. Be right back. Go to the crib, go get the ratchet, the gun. You know, I'm already doing my thing now as far as making statements with violence. So it doesn't matter who it is. Family, friend, it didn't matter. But I didn't have any intentions on killing anybody. I just wanted to, you know, kind of show them that I meant business. Came back with the gun. My brother and my cousin standing there like, shh. They looking at me like, yo, what the fuck this nigga up to? Walk back across the street on them. Hey, yo, I'm gonna ask y'all again. You got that $60 that I asked for? That we bargained for? We made a deal for? He was like, nigga, I told you you're gonna get that shit later. Pulled out the gun. And what I did was I shot around them, like I traced around them into the store that was behind the store. The gate was closed on the store, so I probably let off like 8 shots around them. Bang, 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 bang. And you know the precinct is right down the block because we was on 228th and Laconia, and the precinct is on 229th, one block. Anyway, I scared them with a couple of shots, about 8 shots. Run back in the projects, and I want the police to come get me. I go to my mom's crib, put the gun upstairs. I'm chilling in the house. 5 minutes later, I hear banging at the door. I'm thinking it's the police. I'm like, oh shit, somebody done snitched on me. So my mom's like, let me see who it is. And I'm like, nah, I'm chill, because I'm thinking it's the police. I don't want Mom Dukes to see the police. I'm like, nah, I'm chill. So I go look through the peephole. It's my brother. So he bang again. Ma, open the door. So I'm like, Mom, go ahead, you can open the door. So she opened the door, and he didn't come in the house. He just threw like $400 in the house. Give that to your son. Little spoiled, hard-headed, badass motherfucker. And I just kind of laughed and picked the money up. And I went to the skate key. that was my situation with giving my siblings some drugs. That was the last time I did that too.
Moms, I know his brothers, his sisters, I know his whole family. Personally, like, I know him personally, like that's my man. And there's things that we've done together that I will never put on video, but young blood, but he about his work, you know what I'm saying? The brother about his work, he put his work in, you know what I'm saying? We've done things together, man, you know what I'm saying? So, I really, at the end of the day, respect his gangster.
One thing that stuck out to me, something that happened that I was present for with Antoine, my friend Daniel Nieves, I can't remember exactly what happened. They had something that was going on with them, and I remember Daniel, big dude. Daniel was real big. He ran up and like splashed and did something to Inch, and you know, cats thought it was funny. And Inch didn't like that too much. I remember him laying in the cut one day, real calm, collective. You know, we saw Daniel. I guess Daniel thought everything was sweet, or it was over. You know, Daniel was good people's, but Antoine went upside his head with a baseball bat, like in front of everybody, like right there. It was crazy. It's something, I don't know why that stuck out to me as something I remember. I'm pretty sure he remembers it, and I'm probably not telling it exactly, but just the way he laid in the cut and waited for his right time to do what he had to do. You know, that's the kind of strategic kind of planner he is.
I remember the incident with him at Sousa with the pistol. That kind of stood out.
It was March 1st, 1989. I was 14 years old, approaching my 15th birthday. And I had a situation, you know, going on, street stuff with some dudes from the neighborhood. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna carry my gun everywhere I go, including school. So that morning I went to school with the gun, and they used to search our book bags coming into the school. So I knew to keep the gun on my waist. I go into school, normal, like regular. And, you know, when I went to put my jacket up during homeroom, I took the gun out of my waist and put it into my jacket pocket. And one of my classmates, a female, she saw me put the gun in there. And, you know, naturally, she got scared. She was paranoid. She notified the teacher, who I guess notified the principal. And we had a police officer in the building. He worked in there. And during my first period class, I guess they notified the police. And I wasn't thinking when they came and got me. I thought nothing of it. They come to my first period class. Hey, Mr. Thomas, come with us. I noticed the school police with them. I think the dean of my grade, and I was in the 9th grade too at the time, and I believe it was the assistant principal. So they walked me from the class I was in back to my homeroom class. The closet door was open. Every coat in the class was on the bottom 2 hangers, or the bottom 2 hooks. Again, I wasn't even thinking. My jacket was the only one on the top hook. So, assistant principal said, Antoine, grab your jacket. So I guess it was the setup to see if I was going to grab the jacket that had the gun in it. I'm not even thinking that my gun is in the jacket. I kind of forgot about everything. I was slipping. So I reached for the jacket. As soon as I reached for the jacket, the cop that worked in the school punched me in my face. Bam! I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? So they grabbed me up, threw me against the wall, cuffed me. You like bringing guns to school? I'm like, damn. Fuck it. Ain't no big deal. I'm a juvenile. I'm going to get out in a couple of hours anyway. Mom's going to come get me. I'm good. They bring me to the principal office. My mom's is in there crying. Her and my oldest brother. We called him Big Frank. So my mom's and Big Frank is crying. Oh my God, what happened? What are you doing? I'm cuffed. I'm like, Mom, chill. Like, don't worry about it. I'm good, Mom. I'm good. Like, just come get me. Like you always do. And so I got into the police car. I think my mom's made it her way to the precinct on her own. And when I got to the precinct, they booked me and everything, told me what I was being charged with as a juvenile. And they would have to bring me downtown to family court to get processed. So when they were bringing me out of the precinct, the officers who was doing the transport, he was like, yo, look, we have somebody from the newspaper here, the Daily News. You have a hoodie. We're gonna put the hoodie over your head, and we're gonna escort you from the precinct into the police car. At that time, while we outside, the photographer with the newspaper is gonna take pictures of you. Just keep your head down. So I walked outside in the parking lot. I see the guy's feet running around me. I hear the clicks of the camera, so taking pictures or whatever. I didn't know. I knew it was going to be in, I guess, the newspaper or on the news. I just didn't know it was going to be on the second page. So I went to Bronx Criminal Court, the family court department, because again I was underage, and I thought they were going to release me to my mom. They didn't. They remanded me to Spofford, which is juvenile detention center in the Bronx. So I went there, and the following day, when we get up for breakfast, the newspaper is there in the day room. And when I open the newspaper, I see a picture of myself, and a picture of the gun and the bullets. And I knew I should have been ashamed of myself because I embarrassed my moms and my family, but that actually fueled me. It made me feel like I was Superman. And I just vowed that once I got out of that situation, when I got back to the street, I was going to go even harder. I believe it was May 12th, 1989. I'm sitting in front of the building with a few friends of mine, and a couple of dudes that used to hang out with my sister, they came up to where I used to hang out in Edenwald, which was called the Blue Park. And both of the dudes were crying. And I'm sitting there with my boys, I'm like, what the fuck is up with them? So the two guys come up and they like, oh shit, yo, Inch, yo, shit is fucked up. I'm like, what's up? Something happened to Crystal. Something happened to your sister. So I'm like, is she okay? Oh my God, yo, it's crazy. No. Is Crystal okay? And they was like, nah, I think she's dead. They killed her. So I'm like, killed my sister. So I run into my building and I go upstairs and I told my mother, yo, Mom, I think they killed Crystal. So she was like, huh, what? And I didn't even stay to like really see her reaction. I jetted back outside. Yo, where's that? They was like, she's in her crib. And she lived outside the projects, on the outskirts, walking distance. I told my mans, yo, come with me over there. When I get over there to her crib, there's mad police outside. The coroner van is out there. The newspapers are out there. A bunch of people from Edenwald was out there. And I think maybe one of my brothers or something was out there. And we were waiting for my other brother to arrive. And, so I'm moving around trying to figure out what's going on. And I go up to one of the officers. And I'm like, somebody told me that my sister is inside that apartment dead. And it was like, well, we don't know. We're actually trying to identify, the body now. Do you think you're up to it? Can you come inside and identify them? Absolutely. So I walk inside the apartment, the apartment on the lower level, and I immediately look up and I see the entire ceiling covered in blood. And I'm like, what the fuck happened up there? And it reminded me of a scary movie. And I looked on the floor and I seen that blood had dripped down. And the people who lived there, they was like sitting on the couch or something. They looked like they was maybe some Indians or something. So the cop was like, think you could do it? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. So we walked up the one flight of stairs into the apartment. And I think I'm like 15 years old now. I walk inside the apartment. As soon as I get up there, there's a cover over a body on the floor by the entrance. And they lift the cover up. and my sister's body was facing upward. And I noticed that she had a gunshot to her neck, her forehead, and there was a gunshot on her hand as well, as if she was trying to stop one of the incoming bullets, and it went through her hand. She was swollen, the blood was dried up, but it was clearly her. I was able to identify her. So I was like, yeah, that's my sister. And I was like, you guys know who did it? And they said, did she have a dog? I'm like, yeah. They said, well, we found a dog roaming around, and he was pretty vicious, but he didn't have a leash or anything on. And I was like, yeah, we call him Hypo. He was trained to protect everybody in the house. And they said, well, he was roaming around free. There was nobody here to chain him back up. So whoever was here knew the dog as well, or the dog knew them. They may just not have time to chain the dog up. So that was all that we got out of it at the time. So I identified my sister, I saw the gun wounds and everything. And it was pretty bad. You know, that image stuck with me ever since 1989 till now. I never forgot that. And you know, my sister and I being so close, shit kind of fucked me up. I think about her often. You know, a lot of times I just wonder how it would be if she was still alive to see me doing some of the things that I'm doing today.